everyone. You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe coming to you from Los Angeles. And it's Sunday here, May 9, 2021. We have updates from our correspondents across North America. Joanne B. Soriano in New York reports about a shooting in Times Square that left 3 bystanders injured. April Masongsong in Toronto, Ontario reports about Canada approving the use of Pfizer COVID vaccine in adolescents. Edmonton, Alberta.
Alberta public health measures are evoking resistance, non-compliance, and death threats.
Rose Papa Angeles in Washington reports about DC expanding its vaccination options for 16 and 17-year-olds. Emerson Simon in Sylmar, California.
LA County's COVID hospitalizations dropped to its lowest since the pandemic's peak.
Lori Jarvina in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas to Los Angeles high-speed rail line to break ground in 2021.
Nanita Manawis tells us about a tiny home village in Dallas, Texas. Ways. Our coverage begins now. We begin with a shooting incident in New York where bystanders have been hurt. Bureau Chief Joanne B. Soriano is in Times Square with the details.
On Saturday evening, gunfire erupted in Times Square. 3 bystanders were shot and wounded with non-life-threatening injuries and taken to Bellevue Hospital. New York City Police Commissioner Dermot Shea shared details during a press conference.
About 5 to 5 this evening, just behind my right shoulder at 45th and 7th, shots rang out. We had police officers in the area at the time that immediately put over a call for shots fired and responded about a block to the scene. At the end of what we now know is we have 3 individuals that are shot. We have a female Hispanic, 4 years old, from Brooklyn, shot in the leg and expected to undergo surgery at Bellevue Hospital. We have a 23-year-old female tourist from Rhode Island, here today to New York City, first to visit the Statue of Liberty, which was closed or not available at the time they got the tickets, and decided to come to Times Square to enjoy the sights. And last, we have a 43-year-old female Hispanic from New Jersey. What we know right now is we have a dispute that erupted between 2 to 4 individuals, males. We have a picture of one person of interest that we have put out on NYPD News on our Twitter page, as well as a video. If you go there, you will see it. We are asking anyone with any information of what transpired here today to please call our Crime Stoppers hotline. It is, as you know, a very active investigation right now.
And as you can see behind me, Times Square has reopened, and police continue to be on high alert as they watch over visitors and residents. In New York, Joanne Soriano, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you.
Thank you, Joanne. Stay safe out there. In other news, the United States added 266,000 jobs in April, a quarter of the number expected in a surprise setback for President Joe Biden's efforts to revive an economy blighted by the COVID-19 pandemic. The hiring reported in the Labor Department's monthly employment data released Friday is far weaker than expected and pushes the unemployment rate up slightly to 6.1%. The report defies economists' expectations for a gain of 1 million jobs as COVID-19 vaccines and government relief measures allow businesses to return to normal. In a speech following its release, President Biden, who is pushing Congress to approve 2 spending measures costing more than $4 trillion and aimed at revamping U.S. infrastructure and the workforce, characterized the report as a setback typical of economic recoveries.
We came to office. We knew we were facing a once-in-a-century pandemic and a once-in-a-generation economic crisis. And we knew this wouldn't be a sprint, it'd be a marathon. Quite frankly, we're moving more rapidly than I thought we would. This morning we learned that our economy created 266,000 jobs in April. It hadn't been adjusted again yet, but that's what it says, 266. And listening to commentators today, as I was getting dressed, you might think that we should be disappointed. But when we passed the American Rescue Plan, I want to remind everybody, it was designed to help us over the course of a year, not 60 days. Today's report is a rebuttal to loose talk that Americans just don't want to work. I know some employers are having trouble filling jobs. But what this report shows is that there's a much bigger problem. notwithstanding the commentary you might have heard this morning. It is that our economy still has 8 million fewer jobs than when this pandemic started. Today, there's more evidence that our economy is moving in the right direction. But it's clear we have a long way to go. All told, our economy has added more than 1,500,000 new jobs since I took office. Some critics said that we didn't need the American Rescue Plan, that this economy would just heal itself. Today's report just underscores, in my view, how vital the actions we're taking are.
The White House had bet that the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan passed in March would reopen businesses that closed during the pandemic and spur rehiring. While analysts say that may still happen as summer gets underway, the report nonetheless represents a hitch in the administration's plans. University of Michigan economics professor Justin Wolfers says on Twitter, this is how we think about the recovery. For today's COVID-19 numbers, according to the Coronavirus Resource Center of Johns Hopkins University and Medicine, as of 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, May 9, 2021, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now over 157,860,000. Top three on the list of countries with recorded cases are the U.S. at over 32.7 million, India at over 22.9 million, Brazil at over 15.1 million. To date, more than 3,286,000 have succumbed to this virus. The U.S. leads the countries with the most number of COVID-19 related deaths, with over 581,000. Brazil is next with more than 421,000, and India has more than 242,000. Now for COVID news. The European Union passes the ball back to Washington in a debate over COVID vaccine patents, pushing the U.S. for a concrete proposal and a commitment to export much-needed jabs. Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel, speaking after a summit of EU and Indian leaders, says the EU had exported much of its own production and that America should follow suit.
Europa hat einen großen Teil seiner europäischen Produktion immer in die Welt exportiert und das sollte dann auch sozusagen der Regelfall werden.
European Council Chief Charles Michel said the bloc was ready to discuss a U.S. offer to suspend patent protection on vaccines once the details are clear. He adds the EU had doubts about the idea being a magic bullet in the short term and encouraged all the partners to facilitate the export of doses. France's skepticism was plain, with President Emmanuel Macron declaring patents are not the priority. Macron suggests a debate on the issue could be a very good idea, but he calls on the United States to put an end to export bans not only on vaccines, but on vaccine ingredients which prevent production. Italy's Prime Minister Mario Draghi echoed that.
Complicata. Prima di arrivare alla liberalizzazione dei vaccini bisognerebbe fare altre cose più semplici, tipo per esempio rimuovere il blocco alle esportazioni, che oggi gli Stati Uniti per primi e il Regno Unito continuano a mantenere.
While at the summit, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announces a contract with drugs giant Pfizer-BioNTech for up to 1.8 billion doses of their patented vaccine had been concluded. Part of that supply is for EU exports to countries in need. The World Health Organization, India, and South Africa have all called for patents to be temporarily suspended. Meanwhile, in France, Emmanuel Macron has announced that everyone over 50 will be able to be vaccinated from May 10 instead of May 15 in order to continue to move forward at full speed in the vaccination campaign against COVID-19.
C'est qu'à partir de lundi 10, je dis bien de lundi 10, les vaccinations commenceront pour nos concitoyens qui ont plus de 50 ans. Et donc on va baisser l'âge d'accès au vaccin. Les rendez-vous pourront être pris à partir de demain.
The French president also says he was entirely in favor of lifting patents on vaccines, saying it is a must that the vaccine be made a global public good.
Le deuxième point, je suis tout à fait favorable à ce qu'il y ait en effet cette ouverture de la propriété intellectuelle. Vous m'avez entendu le dire il y a un an, quand nous avons lancé l'initiative Acte A. véritablement permettre à ce que la propriété intellectuelle soit levée. Ce que j'ai dit simplement, oui, on va faire de ce vaccin un bien public mondial, mais à coup sûr, la priorité aujourd'hui, elle est sur deux choses. L'esprit de solidarité et d'efficacité de tous les pays riches, comme l'Europe le fait, et comme j'espère elle sera suivie par les Britanniques, les Américains et d'autres. C'est le don de doses. À court terme, c'est ça qui nous permettra de vacciner. Moi, j'ai fait un...
When we come back, updates from Ontario, Alberta, and Washington. This is Eagle News America. Stay with us.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced. Not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas. A 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Aguila, the evening primetime news program of Net 25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Aguila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to explain our health outdoor attack.
Catch these programs on Net 25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
You're watching Eagle News America. I'm Alan Basoyahe in Los Angeles. Canadians aged 12 to 15 have the chance to receive the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine before the next academic year begins. In Toronto, April Mosongsong tells us more about this authorization for use. April.
Health Canada approved Wednesday the use of the Pfizer vaccine in children 12 to 15 years of age, making Pfizer the first COVID-19 vaccine in the country authorized for use in adolescents. According to Fabien Paquette, Vaccines Lead of Pfizer Canada, today's expansion of our authorization represents a significant step forward in helping the Canadian government broaden its vaccination program and begin to help protect adolescents before the start of the next school year. This decision comes based on a clinical trial that was done in the United States last March. The trial had 2,260 participants ages 12 to 15. Results from this trial showed that the Pfizer vaccine is 100% effective in children at this age. Chief Medical Advisor for Health Canada, Dr. Supriya Sharma, says in a statement to the press, while younger people are less likely to experience serious cases of COVID-19, having access to a safe and effective vaccine will help control the disease's spread to their family and friends, some of whom may be at a higher risk of complications. It will also support the return to a more normal life for our children, who have had such a hard time over the past year. Precautionary methods in administering the vaccine to adolescents includes not giving the vaccine to children with known history of severe allergic reactions, like anaphylaxis, to any ingredients of the Pfizer vaccine.